So how good is an old Honda CBR600RR?
Sing to me!
Well?
Oh, baby.
Really good. It's actually really good. These things used to be the king. This used to be the 600 to have. And over the years here, they've kind of lost popularity. You don't see too many CBRs on the streets anymore. So today we're gonna talk a little bit about why that is. We're gonna really dive into this bike, go over some features and specs. We'll get a good look at it. And then of course, we gotta take it out for a rip. We gotta put this rubber on the road and see what the old Honda 599 can turn out. And this is gonna be super fun. So without further ado, let's rip into it. My name's Micah, welcome to the channel. Well, and we gotta start with the 360 and really take in what we've got here.
Oh, baby. Yeah. That is the one right there. So this bike is going to be a 2010 CBR600RR. It is a factory Layla edition, but they call this the Layla edition. They only made it for 2010, but a lot of aftermarket fairing manufacturers since have recreated these fairings. So you might see CBRs running around with Layla fairings. But to know if it's factory, look at your wheels. If the wheels have the Layla paint on them as well, then you know it's original. What I always loved on these CBR 600s was the under tail exhaust. You can see we've got a Tosh exhaust on this bike here, but the symmetry that gives the motorcycle, just unbelievable.
So as far as some quick specs on our motorcycle, this baby cranks out 118 horsepower. It has 48.6 foot-pounds of torque. The wet weight is only 410 pounds. Cycle World reported this motorcycle running a 10.58 in the quarter mile and numerous 3-second 0 to 60 pulls. So the thing is fast, right? And these CBRs were running those numbers when they first got released in like 2003. So these are quick, they're fun, they're almost for the purist because they are a true 600. You know, Kawasaki has always cheated with the ZX-6. It's not a 600, you know, it's been a 636 for most of its life. And that's what always drew me to them, you just get a little bit more. But clearly, Honda is doing more with less. Top speed's gonna be 160 miles per hour. Gonna be enough for most people. Well, and before we go ride it, I'll just say one more thing on the history of this bike. You know, these used to be really popular. You would see them everywhere. Well, in the whole history of the Honda CBR line, you know, even the older 600s that were carbureted, the F2s, F3s, F4s, fantastic bikes, the best bikes. And then Honda gave us the F4i CBR 600, so it was fuel injected. I mean, right off the bat, that was the bike to have if you wanted to do stunting. It was so reliable, it was rock solid, you couldn't kill them. And the exact same can be said of the newer CBR 600RRs, but these really started to lose popularity around 2008, 2009, I'll say. And the years past that, sales really tanked and popularity for these went down. And it's because Honda just hasn't changed that much over the years. I mean, they started so solid. It's hard to do better than they started off doing, but they just had minimal changes year to year. We've seen a few changes in fairings, you know, minor tweaks to the model over the years. But compared to what Yamaha and Kawasaki were doing with their middleweights, yeah, I think the Honda seemed a little bit stagnant to people. I think a lot of people felt like they weren't getting a brand new motorcycle, even if they got a brand new CBR 600, because it was the same as so many prior years. So I think now we'll gear up, we will hit the streets, and we'll see just how relevant these CBRs are in 2025. I'm gonna wring this thing's neck. It's gonna be fun.
All right, a Layla edition CBR. These are cool, the white and the black. It's such a contrast. You never see these in the wild. So this is a treat. How does she sound with a full Tosh exhaust? Oh, pretty good. Just a very simplistic display, gas gauge, tachometer, speedometer, trip, temperature, clock. So we really got nothing for electronics, no ABS, no traction control, power modes, quick shifter. It's 118 horsepower with 2 wheels.
All right, now we're rocking this pony. She really winds up.
That's the thing with these 600s. Wind them up, watch them go, baby. He sees the gap. Man, this thing is a screamer. Ah, that's just a piercing sound. Power band seems really linear right off the bat. It's not like you just get a jolt of power all of a sudden at a certain RPMs. It just picks up very gradually. It is very predictable. Alright, well, here we go. Let's do the damn deed. Oh my gosh. This thing makes me feel like I'm on a fighter jet. Wow. That's the great thing about the 600s. They're so playful. They just want you to wind them up. They want you to ring them out. You want to take them to redline in every gear. Well, let's just do a roll on quick on this baby. So we're in 6th gear, 5th gear, 4th gear, 3rd gear. Yeah, 3rd gear at 60. Let's get her. 3, 2, lift off. Baby just that is fun. You know, 118 horsepower. It's not the sheer horsepower that's just out of control. But like I said, this thing can run the quarter mile in like 10.6. It can go 0 to 60 in 3 flat. Well, and actually, I'm almost to my normal drag strip spot, so let's see what we can get for a 0 to 60 and a 0 to 100. Alright, let's launch this baby up to 60, up to 100, up to something. Here we go. I'll put the times on the screen afterwards. Baby can almost get to 100 in 2nd gear. It was just shy. We'll do one more just to see if we can't best that last one. Yeah, this thing scurries around just fine. It's so fun, you know, with the way the power band is on this, it just doesn't get away from you in high RPM in any gear. I would feel totally confident in starting someone on a CBR600RR. I mean, the brakes, the clutch, the suspension, the handling, everything is just predictable. And on our launches, you know, that front end obviously gets pretty light, but we do have a factory steering stabilizer on this. That's really nice, especially when I'm coming into 2nd hard and I feel that front end jump. When I talked about this being like a stunt bike, will it wheelie? That's 6th gear, 5th gear, 4th gear, 3rd gear. Should we just do 2nd? That's pretty classic. Let's see. Oh, baby. All too easy. All too easy. Well, this thing does have a glorious sound. I'm curious how it'll come through my microphone. Because what I will say, this thing is deafening to ride. It is so loud with that Tosh exhaust. Well, and up here, we'll just go out one more time. We'll take one last hooligan run. We'll do some really hard roll-ons. Oh, roundabouts, baby girl. They feel good on a super. don't know what I'm addicted to more, the sound of just winding this thing up, or just that super awesome feel that it gives me. The CBRs are just a very good overall total package. Good power, good weight, good feel, good handling. And I think that well-roundedness of the CBRs makes them a fantastic choice for a middleweight super sport. You know, does it get a 10 out of a 10 in any category? For power, for comfort, for feel, for ability. I feel like the Honda's just 9s on everything. It's 9s across the board. So even though another super sport could be, you know, a 10 on power or a 10 on suspension, well, they're not a 10 on overall feel. They're not a 10 on agility. They're not a 10 on comfort. So if you scored all of the middleweight super sports like that, man, I think the CBR would have the highest point score at the end. All right, we're out here, middle of nowhere. 5th gear, 4th gear, 3rd gear, 2nd gear. I'm gonna bring her up to about 9 and just drop her. Here we go. Oh yeah, baby! Sing to me! Oh man! Oh, that'll make you feel alive on a hot summer day. Good night. You are very good at what you do, Honda. I've known it for a long time. Everybody knows it. And even that right there, that's the sweet spot. Just kind of like mid-high acceleration. You're not getting on it, but you let those RPMs climb a little. Oh, that is fun. One last brutal launch. From 9,000. Oh! I could do that till the end of time. I could do that forever. Oh, that is so fun. You know, on a bike like this, say you went out to get this exact 2010, I don't know what you'd pay, you know, 55, you find one with decent condition, decent miles, and because Honda didn't change very much on this motorcycle over the years, parts are crazy cheap for this. Oh my goodness, the fairings, the exhaust, turn signals, mirrors, grips, levers, rear sets. You know, and it's funny, for 118 horsepower, this feels faster than that, but I think it's just because the wet weight of this CBR is 410 pounds. So the power to weight is good, you know, with it only having 48 foot-pounds of torque. You just gotta wind it up. Your power's in the RPMs. Seemingly has endless gears for a 600. They're fairly tall, but it doesn't feel sluggish a bit. A little slant on my front wheel brought me back to the right. She handles good on one wheel. It feels good. As far as dancing around on that back tire, this is a good option. The tone of a Honda Super Sport is so smooth. Give me a green light. I'm burning up. It's like 90-some degrees, no wind, sitting at the stoplight. Let's go, baby girl. Woo! Had to cool down. I was overheating. I was gonna get heat stroke. I had to punch it. Officer, do you want me to get heat stroke? Well, alrighty. Some thoughts, final thoughts as we're making our way back home. Fun. faster than I thought it would be. More predictable than I could have ever hoped for. You know, the Honda's good overall package, like I said. Oh no. Just a fantastic option, you know, and even a new CBR. I think a lot of people have written that off because the tech just isn't the same as what it is on some other competitors, which is true, you know. I mean, it's very easy to look at the US at least. Other countries, their CBR600RRs are like pimped out. Home sweet home. Well, we'll get off. We'll give this baby just a rev or two as it's sitting here. Open my visor. Hopefully you can hear it better. She's a bad mamma jamma. She runs good. She runs hard.
Well, after twisting so much throttle, I figured we better keep twisting. Twisted Tea for the go-getters. So how was the CBR? Very, very good. You know, and you can look at this motorcycle, the lack of updates it's had. You know, you look at it on paper, 48 foot-pounds of torque, no electronics, no quick shifter. You know, I think a lot of people are just gonna see that and they'll look for other options. But as soon as you ride this bike, you realize how special, how perfect it really is just as it sits. And yeah, I think it's just like I was saying before, not that it's the best at any specific thing. It really, for me, it gets 9s across the board. But getting a 9 in every possible category that we can rate it in just gives it a very high overall score. It gives it a very fun feel because it is just the jack of all trades. So the old CBR600s, they score very well in my book. Yeah, the old F4Is are legendary. Undertail exhaust, the symmetry. These are good bikes. They're really good bikes and they're easy to work on. So if you want to get a super sport that you're doing all the wrenching yourself, good option right here. Easy and cheap parts. So that should about wrap it up for today. This has been a real treat to ride this. And who knows, maybe we'll see this motorcycle again. So comment with any questions. Otherwise, like the video if you had fun today. Subscribe if you want to see more. And until next time.